Hello Libra, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Libra for the end of November. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Libra, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you, where we will be taking a look at this final portion of the month of November. Timeline on this reading will be from November 24th all the way until December 4th. The reason I chose December 4th is that is the full moon in Gemini. So we'll see what's coming to a close for you here as we close out this month of November. And with that said, let's go ahead and get all of the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right, I can tell you right now, looking at these cards, communication is going to be a big factor here for you during this period of time. I'm seeing a lot of blue in the cards, okay? Get into what that means more. Blue is associated with the throat chakra, okay? It's a communication center. All right, I think that's looking good enough to me. Energy on the bottom. You have the King of Pentacles. All right, so some of you here are feeling like, I'm getting a sense that you're looking at your habits and routines, and I get an energy here of you being drained. I know it's not like exactly showing up in the cards, but it is something that I'm feeling intuitively. Okay, it's something that I'm really feeling intuitively. There's something about, you know, what you're doing day to day, habits, routines, these sorts of things that you're looking at. This person is successful, right? They're on the throne, they're surrounded by abundance, they have a pentacle in their hand, you know, they are abundant, they are successful, and they've done this through solid habits and routines. Okay, so I think that this is something that you're looking at here at this time. We'll see if there's something else with that King of Pentacles. It can indicate that you are kind of like, you know, walking into some success here. You do have two kings. Actually, you have three kings. You have 1, 2, 3, right? Three kings. I think there's something in history about three kings that I'm not aware of, but I'm sure many of you will comment and tell me what the three kings mean. But you know, kings can be an indicator of leadership or a call to leadership in different certain areas. But you know, broadly, it can be about leadership, authority in your life, taking charge or control of your life, of your situation. These sorts of things can come up when you get kings, especially 3 of them in a tarot reading. Some of you here are at a critical point in your situation, okay? And I think that communication is going to be a huge factor for you here as I look at all of the blue, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards where the primary color is blue, is associated with that throat chakra, the communication center in you know, in the chakra system, right? In the 7 chakras. So I do think that there is something's there for you, okay? Now, I'm also seeing like some movement here, okay? We've got double knights, we've got a chariot here. Lots of things going on here for you, Libra, you know, as you close out this portion of the month. So let's get into it here. Right away in the middle, you're seeing the Judgment card, and this is like critical points in life, right? Critical junctures, critical spots, critical decisions. The Judgment card is a very big energy, okay? It's Pluto, as you see here, right? Pluto is a really deep planet in astrology, really deep symbolism with Pluto. And you know, this may mean that you're having like some sort of an epiphany right now, okay? Because when you get the Judgment card, you may see the results of your actions sort of like playing out here. And is there? No. Okay, I thought there was another card under there. Nope, that's just the shadow. You may be seeing the results of your actions playing out, okay? And you may be getting like, you know, you may be getting, having awareness around something that you've done in the past, and you know, it being here, being now, seeing it fully, and having some type of epiphany related to that, okay, as you have the Judgment card here. So this is a big energy. It's also about your karma, right? Everything I just discussed is connected to karma. You know, karma is about the actions you take in life and their associated results. That's really what karma is. So, you know, some of you here, I get a sense that you're looking to make changes, okay? I get a sense that you're looking to make changes. And this is just an intuitive feeling, okay? This is an intuitive feeling. as I look at these cards here. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at the first column. You have the King of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Five of Swords. All right, so with these cards, for this column here, for this reading, I'm associating it with the past, okay? In this series that I'm doing, this is the past, all right? And I do think that you've been kind of experiencing swings, okay? I feel like you've been experiencing swings. And let me kind of like give you some context here and break this down for you. What I mean by that is you've got a victory with the Ace of Swords. Okay, this is a breakthrough. This is a victory. This is a new beginning where you're feeling really energized, excited. It can feel like you're divinely inspired. This sword is could be like a sword of truth. Some of you may have like experienced the truth, and it's really kind of given you some runway to start something. When you get the Ace of Swords, it's a really positive card, but it's also about communication. Okay, because swords in the tarot represent communication, right? And so on one hand, you have a success. On the other hand here, you're experiencing a swing in that you have maybe experienced a minor loss or defeat in life, okay? This isn't an emotional loss, it seems, because we really only have one Cups card, okay? This doesn't feel like an emotional loss. Okay, this feels like you've experienced a swing in life. You've been up, you've been down. This may be, as I look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 swords cards. We do have 5, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swords cards. We have 1 pentacles. We've got a wands card. We've got some major arcanas, 1 cups. It could be in any area of life. For some people, this may be legal. Okay, it isn't going to be for everyone here, but swords not just about communication, it also connects to legality in the tarot, okay, or legal issues as well in the tarot. So for some that may be the case, but I get a sense that there's something that you've been battling. Okay, you've been here in the past, you've been going through, you felt like you've needed to fight for something, here, and maybe it's possible here that the nature of your work, it's kind of like up and down, or the nature of a relationship that you're in, or a relationship that you have with someone close to you, such as a family member, a friend, anything like this, people around you. That there may have been like a lot of swings in this. This is kind of like what I'm feeling here, but there has been a breakthrough at the same time. So it's like kind of one of these things where two things are true at the same time here, Libra. You have the King of Cups as well, which this is somebody who's calm, cool, and collected in the face of adversity. Right? As you see this person here sitting in the middle of the ocean, waves crashing by, whatever's in the ocean around them, they're not fazed, okay? So this is also somebody who's really an emotional leader. This person leads from the heart space, okay? And maybe it is that you've been through some emotional swings. It's just the vibe here is I'm getting, like, swords are air, right? You are an air sign, Libra, right? So air is logic, right? Or thought process or communication, right? And this is why I'm thinking that it's more so connected to those areas than it is, let's say, an emotional loss or swing or something like this, right? So hopefully that helps you understand kind of like where I'm getting at here. Let's go ahead. Let's move to the middle column. You have the Chariot, the Judgment card, and the King of Swords. All right. So with these 3 cards, I've talked about how important the Judgment card is, how critical the Judgment card is in the tarot. I should also note the thing that I left out is that it could mean that you're very close to completion. You're very, very close. Like you can almost feel it. You can taste it. You can touch it. You can see it. You can sense it. Like because the Judgment card is the final step before you complete the major arcana, which is the World card in the tarot, right? So it may mean that like there's like one last thing, one last truth that you need to see in this situation in life before you can complete something, right? And that Judgment card represents the realization of that truth, the culmination of everything you've done up to this point right in front of you, right? And that can spring about an epiphany in life. So this is possible that some of you are maybe having some deep realizations right now, okay? And as you have this King of Swords and the Chariot above and below it, I would say generally this is pretty good for you, in the current situation. The Chariot card, it represents a victory in life. You know, it represents overcoming difficulties, overcoming obstacles, charging forward with success in life. It's also the idea of as above, so below. The energy that you put out there really is very important. You know, it really does come back to you, right? And so, you know, as I'm thinking about this year, we started off with the King of Pentacles. I'm looking at all of these cards. Well, we do have 3 kings and we do have 2 knights. It feels like you hold the keys here, Libra. Like you're in the driver's seat, right? The Chariot is actually associated with vehicles, but you're in the driver's seat here, Libra. Okay? At this time, right? And it, like, you are directly seeing how important it is that you spend, you know, your days, or you spend, you know, like what actions you take. You know, you're directly seeing that right now. You're in this sort of period where it feels like you can't take a day off, maybe, you know? And I think that you may be looking at, like, how am I supporting myself in the best way possible to achieve the things that I want to achieve, with that King of Pentacles on the bottom, right? In the final column here, you do have the Four of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords, and you have the Knight of Wands. All right, so Four of Swords, Knight of Wands. I like this. You have a great reading here, Libra. I haven't seen one like this in quite a bit. This is definitely a unique vibe to this reading here. And what I would say is, with the double knights, you know, when you get double knights in a reading, it means that you're probably quite busy. There's a lot coming in for you here in the future, okay? The future is definitely going to feel like a blur, at least for some of you, right? And what I mean by that is the days might, you know, melt away here in the short term, right? In the future here for you. Maybe between now and the end of the year. It would actually make sense, as this is a time of the year where people are doing a lot of things, seeing family, you know, going to different holiday parties, you know, these sorts of things. It would actually kind of make sense. I'm feeling like this future column here is like between now and the end of the year. That's what I'm feeling. We'll see if that changes. But, you know, as I look at this year, I think what you're doing now is going to really set you up for a period of time between now and the end of the year where you can rest a little, you know, Four of Swords. But, like, to feel good about that period, about that rest time, you're going to have to do as much as you can right now. That's what I feel, okay? And we'll see if, we'll kind of see if we get more confirmation of that as we go along here. But I'm thinking, like, right now, it's sort of like head down, get the things that you need to get done, because you're going to feel good that you did that in the future. It's kind of like what I've been trying to say this entire time. You're going to really feel like you deserve this rest. You've earned it. You know, you've earned it. But there is a period of rest coming up for you here with the Four of Swords. Knight of Swords is taking action, and then the Knight of Wands may indicate traveling. Some of you may be, you know, traveling to see family that you haven't seen all year or whatever because it's the holidays. This could also be like moving. Some of you may be deciding to move, although it's a weird time to do that. But let's get some more details on this, all right? So let's get some more details on this. We're going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards, and then we'll also pull some tarot cards here for you as we move into this clarifications portion of the reading. All right. And I think I'll take those as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom. You have Ask Your Angels. Okay, so some of you feel like, yeah, there is a message of connection here with the, and when I say connection, I mean connecting with something higher than you, if that's something that you enjoy doing, with the Judgment card and the Ask Your Angels. You know, this could be synchronicity, signs. Wow, you pulled a lot of cards here, so let's try to get all of these in one shot here. So you have improving health, be assertive, compromise, and peaceful resolution. All right, this is what I like to see for you, because I said at the beginning of this, Libra, there's a significant communication situation that does appear to be showing up in the readings. I didn't get into as many details about that because I felt like there were some other things that needed to be said, but there is, so the cards are asking you to make a compromise, or maybe like have comfort knowing that you can create resolution, right? If there is a like a conflict in communication here, okay? And then you put another 4. You have no, that's a hard no, in the near future if you believe and there's something better. Okay, so Some of you may be deciding to set boundaries here in the future around with somebody around, I would say, something pretty important, okay, as you have the Judgment card there, and then this is the hard no. There are 2 no's in this Oracle deck. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get more details. Libra, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Do hope things are going well for you. Go ahead and pull some more tarot cards. Now I'm using the Galactic Star. Yeah, the Galactic Star Tarot. This is actually the first series I'm using this deck on. And I actually picked these up in New Zealand when I was in New Zealand and Australia earlier this year. I think it's pretty interesting. Definitely a different type of deck for me. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull some of these cards. So you have the 9 of Cups, you have the 8 of Swords, and you have the Knight of Pentacles. All right, so I see that some of you have maybe shifted some money around, or there was something that you needed to pay for. I see that this is generally positive, okay? Like, here's what I'll say. I don't see frivolous spending, okay? I don't see like spending on something that is not necessary, okay? Like, I see that there's been an outflow of money for some people here with the Knight of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords. Okay, it felt like this was like a necessary thing that you had to do, whether it was like fixing your car or, I don't know, like putting money in retirement or like, you know, paying for something, but like it was like a necessary thing, okay? And this is maybe also something that could have happened for you here is like maybe you're in a job where it's not like fixed income every month, and like you had a really high month, and then you didn't have like a really low month, but you had a swing. Like there's a swing here that's happening in money here in the past, okay, that is showing up in the cards, but it's just like such is life type thing, you know, like it's something that you had to kind of like stomach here, right? I think you're getting the vibe of what I'm trying to communicate. And with the 8 of Swords, this maybe felt like you were quite restricted because of this, okay? Like just as soon as you achieved a breakthrough or a victory, there was this other thing, okay, in the past here. But you've got the 9 of Cups with the King of Cups. What I'm really going to recommend here, and I'm going to hard recommend this, and it may not mean much, but the combination of the 9 of Cups and the King of Cups is like, listen, absolutely keep chasing your dreams. Okay, I know that like that may not mean much, but with the 9 of Cups and the King of Cups, like this is, you have some dream, you have some wish, you have some goal. This is, not a time to let go of that because you're experiencing some swings. This is like a time to ride the wave, right? Just like the King of Cups would do, right? There are periods when the King of Cups is sitting in the water and it's cool, it's still water, nothing's going on, and there are periods where the waves are crashing around them, right? You're in that period right now where it's like you're going up and down, right? But there's like a wish that you want to see fulfilled here with the 9 of Cups, all right? You have the Justice card. There may be a legal thing going on here for some people. This isn't going to be for everyone, but for some people, I was waiting to see that card because of all the Swords cards with it. You've got the Justice card. You have the 2 of Cups. And you also have the 6 of Wands. So I like the 2 of Cups for you. I like to see the 2 of Cups in just about any reading. Because this represents partnership. This is a deep union in life, a soul bond, this is a good card for romance. The thing is that there's a decision that needs to be made here, okay, with the Justice card. You're at like a critical point with someone. If this isn't romantic, this speaks to partnership in general, okay? So maybe you're in a legal situation, maybe it's the person you've hired, to handle the case or whatever. Like, or if it's a business situation, it's your business partner, or there's another person involved here, especially as you have 3 kings, 2 knights, right? And 4 knights actually now. 3 knights now, 3 kings, 3 knights. So like there's absolutely another person involved here, and you're at a point here where it's like getting real, right? It's getting real with this person, this situation. Okay, uh, based on this reading, the Six of Wands below, I like. The Six of Wands may indicate celebration, victory, success in the tarot. It's kind of I'm not really a huge fan of this illustration of the Six of Wands because usually, people are celebrating the Six of Wands in most illustrations, but it is what it is. So yeah, this card can say that you've overcome something difficult, and that you're now achieving success. You're achieving celebration. People are proud of you. These sorts of things can show up when you get the Six of Wands. So the fact that it's falling on the King of Swords to me is looking pretty good. Justice, it can indicate legal situations. It can indicate kind of like needing to balance something out in life. It's also the Libra card. Okay, it's also the Libra card. It is your card here with the Chariot. Okay, and this totally makes sense because when I was looking at that Chariot, actually earlier in this reading, when I was talking about this middle column here, I said that at the end of the day, there are people around you, but at the end of the day, you hold the keys. Okay, Libra, you are in the driver's seat, and now to get your card here with the Chariot, there you are. The Chariot is a vehicle, right? It is a vehicle in the tarot. You are literally in the driver's seat. Okay, you get to steer the direction here. You get to steer the ship. Okay, so maybe think carefully about this. Like you have an opportunity to determine the direction you want to go here, right? You have the Five of Cups. Okay, you have the Queen of Swords, another court card, and you have the World. Okay, wow. 42. Assuming that is that from the Hitchhiker's Guide, maybe. Anyway, the World here. This is this is big for you because we talked about this entire reading how you have the Judgment card in the middle. Card that follows that is the World. To me, in this reading, you're at a point here where you're so close to finishing something in your life, and to get the World is a big indicator that this is going to be completed for you here in the future. Okay, so I love that for you. This is also a card of success. A little choppy right now, but it's sort of like you're in a strong position. You hold the keys. You're in the driver's seat. You get to determine how this ends, it seems like. Okay? In life, some things are out of our control, and some things are absolutely and totally in our control. It feels like you are in control here on like where you want to go. With this situation, maybe with this person. And there are really no wrong answers, there are no wrong choices here. Now, with the the Queen of Swords, this may indicate boundaries. I am getting a sense that some of you are boundary setting, okay, here, maybe around the holidays, maybe a little before that. There's a no card here, right? I do think somebody here watching may need to hear that somebody needs to hear no. Somebody needs to say no, and somebody needs to hear it, right? Like something like this may be happening. A little bit of sadness here with that Five of Cups and the Four of Swords, but there will be an opportunity to rest from that. I don't almost ever do this, but I wanted another card here. Fool, Five of Cups, Four of Swords. This would be about, I think, further on as you roll into 2026, right? So like further on. I think some of you are going to be in a completely new spot, in your situation. Yeah, it's not going to be a year where it's same old, but I am going to be doing yearly readings, and yes, I am here to read for you all in 2026 and beyond. So stay tuned, but we could dive into that in the yearly readings, but we're getting close. We're getting close, so I wanted to throw that out there. Now, you do have the Sun as well, and the Sun, it represents total optimism, positivity, success, happiness. You always want to see the Sun, okay? It's a very positive card, and you now have 19, 20, 21, right? The Sun, the Judgment card, and the World. That's big, right? So something's progressing along for you here, but, again, you're at the center of it. You're at the center of it here, Libra. So let's see what we have, all right? Let's take a look at the Kipper cards here and see where we go from there. All right. You have Thief. Oh, Great Fortune. don't know why that was upright or upside down. You have main male. I don't read reversals, so main male, gift, adjudication, and mature man. Do we have any that are also reversed? Let's see here. Usually don't do this, but I will. These cards are getting worn down. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I'd be curious to see anything that is reversed as well. No. Okay, that was it. Okay, so that Great Fortune card for me, the fact that that's reversed doesn't happen really for me because I keep all my cards upright. That's pretty significant here. All right, so that's the cards you want to see in a reading. You have message. You have main female. Some of you are looking to protect something that you've built for yourself. As I'm looking at that Great Fortune card, it's a statue, right? It's an abundant statue. Some of you have built something very strong for yourself in your life, and you're looking to protect that at all costs. As you have the Thief card, the Adjudication card, and I do think that this is probably where the communication situation is arising for you, this boundary setting here around protecting what you've built, And there is a counterpart here with main male, main female. There's a counterpart here. You saw it with the Two of Cups. There's something going on in a partnership or union or somebody you're closely connected to here where there's communication right now, okay? On the bottom, you do have concern as well. So, yeah, I think that it's probably just around the swings that I think some of you may have been experiencing. Of course, everybody loves to see gift as well. There may be a question of like generosity here is something that is coming into my mind. As I look at gift, Great Fortune, this idea of communication and potentially setting boundaries as well with people. There may be a question around generosity here. Not getting much from the mature man at this time. So this is where I'm going to leave you, Libra. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, if this was helpful at all, please consider hitting the like button. Please consider hitting the like button, subscribe, and I will most certainly be talking to you again soon.